Welcome to the Ethno World Podcast, a show dedicated to world music and the people and stories behind the scenes, featuring musicians and journeys that inspire, delight, and inform. Here's your host and a global coordinator for Ethno, Suchet.
Hello. In this podcast, I've chatted with and shared the music of the musicians behind the Bahnhof Leisnig project. What are four musicians doing renovating a working train station, building and transforming it into a musical hub for the region and for musicians worldwide? They're all involved in Ethno, of course, one of the best places to make new friends. But they're also united in their quest to transform Bahnhof Leisnig into a center of music and culture. Let's go and meet the team. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Who is on this call?
So I'm Katherine. I used to be part of the Ethno Germany crew and also project leader of Volklang in Tübingen. I live in Tübingen. I play the violin and I am part of the Bahnhof team.
All right, welcome, Katherine. Before we get into the Bahnhof story, let's meet all our other guests. I think next to you is Ofer.
Yes, hi, my name is Ofer Lübengel. I originally from Israel, now I live in Berlin. And yeah, I know Katherine, Chris, and Ali through music, and now I'm in the Bahnhof team. So I'm also living part-time in Leisnig.
Okay, beautiful. And you also play the accordion.
I play a few instruments. Accordion, piano is my main instrument, and I play also violin. Yeah.
Beautiful. And you mentioned Ali, he's sitting there next to you?
Yes, I'm sitting here. So hi to everyone, I'm Ali Reza and I also know Katherine and Chris through Volklang project in Tübingen and offer through music as well in Berlin. I work as an architect in Berlin and I'm glad to be part of Bahnhof project now.
Very welcome, Ali. And you play the fiddle, the violin.
Yes, I play the fiddle and I also was in Ethno Germany for some years.
Yes, you're a familiar face on the Ethno Germany organizing team, I think.
Yeah, and I'm glad I know you through Ethno Germany as well.
Absolutely. And the fourth member of your team today is Christoph.
Yep, that's right. Hi, I'm Chris from Munich, Germany. Exactly. The four of us know each other through Ethno Germany and also through Volklang. I'm a bassist and I write music and exactly. And I'm also here part of the train station team.
So let's get straight to it. What are four Ethnopians doing at a train station?
Well, the story goes like this. As we said, we met through Volklang and we developed a friendship, and there was always this vision to have a place where ethno music, folk music, and just the art in general could have a home and could be, a place that could be inspirational for us as well as other musicians from all over the world. So Ali is an architect and he was always there, Katherine, we have to do something together. Let's find a house where we can develop this project. And he was also talking to Ofer in Berlin. And then just a little before, it was actually the beginning of this year, he rang me and said, Katherine, let's just look at some houses. We don't have to buy them. It's just so how we have an idea. And we actually drove through the east of Germany and looked at a couple of places. And the Bahnhof was also a place we saw on the internet and we weren't really interested. But because it was on the way, we thought, okay, since it's on the way, we might just stop and take a look. And we got out of the car and saw the train station and realized, like the four of us at the same time, we immediately realized that this is the place. It was perfect because it's actually a functioning train station. So the train stops here and the building itself is huge. It has really beautiful, huge rooms with a lot of potential to have different activities going. And it was really a special moment where the four of us looked at each other and kind of felt the same moment. Yeah, this is it. We don't have to look any longer.
And you can imagine how long it could take to find a place till four people are all like really believe that's the right place. And we were like so lucky because we had it like quite early, and in Bahnhof we didn't have to discuss, or there was like in the first moment everyone was sure that's it.
Yes.
And how come that a train station was up for sale? It's also a working train station, as I understand.
Well, in Germany, after the reunion of the Germany, the Deutsche Bahn, the company of railway in Germany, they automatized many of the infrastructure, and they didn't need the buildings anymore. And the maintenance of the buildings was also too expensive, so they started to sell some of the buildings they didn't need anymore, and it happened like a lot, especially in East Germany. And some of these buildings are still like left abandoned, and some are sold to private people which cannot maintain it anymore, and the buildings are like getting in a worse situation because there is no use of it, like no one is using it and no one is renovating it. And this one was one of those.
And the other thing that happened is in the year 2000, there was a fire here and it burnt half of the roof. And so the people who were still living here, they all moved out. And so, it became less of a place to be.
Since 2000, the building was not lived in anymore, and it was quite abandoned.
And so the four of you got together and now you've actually bought it. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
that's correct.
We didn't know either that you could actually buy a train station, but it's possible.
Well, it's amazing. And when did this project start of renovating it, of putting it in shape?
So we signed the contract to buy the train station in July, and with a view to spending the summer here, and also inviting our friends, musician friends and ethno people to spend the summer with us, and that's what we did. So from the 1st of August, we just spent 6 weeks here cleaning the place, renovating and playing music.
Beautiful. Before we go any further, let's take a quick break from this interview to hear a track that you have been playing to welcome all your ethno friends from all over Europe and the world to the Bahnhof Leisnig. And I believe this is called the Bahnhof Leisnig, even though it has probably another traditional name.
That's correct, yeah.
All right, here we go. So this is live. You're listening to the crew of Bahnhof Leisnig play the Bahnhof Leisnig. Here it is.
2, 3, 4.
was absolutely fantastic, everybody. How did you choose this one particular song? Is it something that one of you brought?
Well, it's actually it's interesting because the first night we spent here, I mean the reason why we originally bought the Bahnhof was just so we have a room where we can jam all night and nobody complains. That was the original idea. So with the first night we arrived, Offer said, "I have a great tune and I want to teach it to you," and it was the Bahnhof Leisnig. So it was actually the first tune we learned here at the train station, and it became the summer super hit, and everybody learned it who spent the summer with us.
It really does have this train feeling and this up energy in it. Beautiful song, and really glad that all our listeners could hear it. Let's continue then with this amazing story of putting this together. Where are things now? How is the Bahnhof at this time?
We could make the building safe, also like from the rain, and like repair the roof for the necessary stage. So there is no water and wind and human beings coming inside unwanted. And we have like we made it to make the basic facilities here, so it's possible to stay here or have some guests. And the next phases are the planning and different applications and making finances, so gathering money for the next steps, and also organizing the next events, like the next milestones, which is dependent of the current situation, of course.
Yes, I understand with the coronavirus situation all over the planet at the moment, there's a lot of uncertainty around planning and preparation. But can you, for our listeners, just describe, if I was standing outside the building and I was to take a guided tour with you, what would you show me? Can you take us through the building?
Well, you would see quite a large historic building. It's actually a heritage site, which is 150 years old, and it is a very symmetric building. So there's the main entrance hall where you could walk through to get to the train tracks, and then left and right is the exact identical amount of building, I suppose. So we call it the what do you call it? East Flügel and West Flügel?
East wing and west wing.
East wing and west wing. And on if you stand in front of it, on the left side, there used to be a restaurant, and it's still the facilities are there, still there for there to be a restaurant, and we also plan to open a restaurant there. And on the other sides, there is offices and also flats where people used to live. And it was actually quite nice because all the people that used to live there many years ago, they came and visited us in the summer, and it was a very emotional reunion of those families with their old flats. It was very emotional for them and for us as well.
And also on the left side and the right side, there's a little garden. So we plan to have a beer garden in one of them, probably in the spring already, because there's a nice bike trail going past the front of the building, and so we hope that the bikers will come and have a drink with us and spread the word. And exactly. And then in front of the station there's a bus stop, and behind the station there's a river, and exactly. And it's all kind of in front of a hill, so you can see the castle of Leisnig in the distance, and you can see the town up on the hill, and we're here in a little valley.
And about the architectural style of the building, it is the neoclassicism style, and back at the time, like more than 150 years ago, people or the society was not like a big friend of this new technological train system. So they were trying to build the building like train stations somehow, which has nostalgical value for the society, and the architectural style is a bit mixed up. Like you can find elements of different older periods which are all mixed together just to make the building nostalgical and valuable for people.
Wow, thank you for that, Ali, and also such a picturesque description. Then obviously the next question is, how do you get to Leisnig?
Well, how do do you get to the train station? By train. And it's funny, Suchit, because many people in the summer actually asked exactly that question because nobody could believe that the train station is actually working, but it is. And it's the location is really in a very strategically nice place because we're only about 45 minutes away from Leipzig, which is a big university town, and the same distance to Dresden, and also the same distance to Chemnitz. So all three towns are university towns, so it's kind of a triangle of nice big cities. And then Berlin is only 2.5 hours away. So international guests, they arrive by plane, maybe to Leipzig or to Berlin, and they can take the train and get out at our doorsteps.
And by the way, that humming in the background is actually the train leaving. So we just heard 2 trains.
Uh-huh.
If you are listening attentively.
And I imagine that there are several trains coming in per day.
Actually, the trains in both directions, they meet here at exactly the same time, always on the hour. So we have about 2 minutes of the whole station just rumbling and vibrating. And then for the rest of the hour, it's quiet, which is really great.
All right, I want to leave our listeners there with that picture just for a moment. A train station with a beautiful bike trail on one side and a beer garden potentially to welcome them in the spring, and then the trains, both of them in 2 directions, meeting on the other side. Thirsty and weary travelers get off with their bags and their instruments, and then they come into a welcome and a jam. Let's play another song for you now. Katherine, you've chosen a song from your project ... Can you tell us a little bit more about this project and who's in it?
Yes. So ... is a string trio that was created about 2 years ago. And it's actually a family band because it's me and my daughter Nayana in it and Chris, and we're all living in the same house. And it was kind of born out of necessity because it's getting harder and harder to keep bands together. And we were quite frustrated at all the different projects that started and didn't continue. So we thought, well, why don't we just create a band of our own, and then we won't have the problem that we don't have to arrange rehearsals and people don't show up, or we can't create time together because we're already living together. We can just have rehearsals between cooking meals or cleaning the house. And that's what we did, and we recorded our first album in 2009.
Last year.
Yeah, last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 2019. It's called Falling Up. And I believe, and we're going to listen to a track that was written by Nayana, and it's called Yeeha.
And it's featuring our friend Jonas on the percussion,
who is also very well known in the Ethno world as a percussion leader and great percussionist. Jonas Leuter.
He is indeed. And here we go with this wonderful track from Nayana and ... that Jonas was playing percussion on that track. Katherine, you played the fiddle. What other music did we just hear?
So I was playing the fiddle, Nayana was also playing the fiddle, and Christoph was playing the bass, the double bass. And Jonas was playing, the cajon and the spoons.
And the triangles.
And the triangles, exactly.
Beautiful. And so at the end of this podcast, we'll share all the links from where you can listen to more from ... But in the meantime, let's continue with Bahnhof Leisnig. Such an ambitious project. I'm sure a lot of people must be thinking, I am, how is this going to be funded? How will it be, held together financially?
Well, a very good question. It's a question we ask ourselves as well. And that's why we need right now so much time for planning and writing applications and stuff. It will be partly financed through credit, like classical credits from banks, and also partly from fundings like cultural and monumental heritage fundings, which we are doing like the application process, and we need lots of luck and support for that, and also partly through sponsors and friends, families, and everyone who is willing to support the project.
And are you open then to donations? I know musicians aren't always the richest people on the planet, but they're generous.
We created an association. It's called a Verein in German. I think in English it's an association. So it's like a non-profit organization, really, where people can donate to. We have a website, and there is also the option to donate. And as Ali said, at the moment, we really need all the luck and all the support we can get, because as you can imagine, it's a huge project and we're only 4 people, and any support we can get is highly appreciated.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes. I mean, the final concert we had this summer where we had like the Bahnhof Orchestra. It was basically an ethno here in the town of Leisnig, and the people from the town were invited to participate. And it was really beyond what we could imagine. We had, how many people? Maybe 30, 25 people from the town, just so eager to participate. And most of them didn't play an instrument, so they were all singing. And we sang the local song together, like the Leisnig lied. And I mean, the final performance was just really so touching, because we had like 30 ethno people on stage, plus 25 people from Leisnig. And it was a very emotional performance. And it was really, once again, proof of the power of music and the power of the ethno way of doing things. It was really very touching.
And you can check out more about the project and how to support it on their website, www.bahnhofleisnig.de. That's www.bahnhof-leisnig.de. They're also on Facebook and Instagram. If you've been visiting the Bahnhof Leisnig, then please post pictures and your stories with the hashtag Bahnhof Leisnig. And you can find the music of ... on Spotify and iTunes, and Chris's music, which you're listening to right now, on his Bandcamp page, christophschoenbeck.bandcamp.com. That is Christopschoenbeck.bandcamp.com. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you want to know more about Ethno, head over to our website at ethno.world. Ethno is a program of JM International, the world's largest youth music network. The work of JM International and Ethno is supported by Belspo, the Creative Europe program of the EU, and Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies.